Hello and welcome back everyone. On today's episode I will be showing you guys how to get the EPS and PE ratio for a specific stock that we will like. This is very important, especially when we have the dates for these release dates, since models will have some trouble understanding why the prices go up and down by like 10% or something around that, depending on specific dates and specific ratios and these kind of stuff. It is a great feature that not only shows the historical value but also kind of shows how the stock is performing in terms of profit, of course relative to its past. And let's get started by importing our libraries. As usual, we will use our Yahoo Finance library here, and we will be using Pandas, and finally we will be using matplotlib to be able to plot our data and visualize it so that you guys will be able to see it properly. We will start with the Apple ticker. I will be only using that for this episode as usual, since it is a stock that's very common and it has every value we will need. For this one we will use the functions we used earlier. If you don't know how to use these, you can watch my other videos, and here we will use actually something else. We will use something called reset index, and the reason why we use this is because we want to have the date as a visible column so that we can use that in the future to join our datasets. And for now I will just create something like this ticker, and then I will just add our ticker so that we can see that better. And here we should be able to see our values really well. Let's see, they have that head. Let's run this. It should download the data and then show us how it looks. Yes, this is how it looks. This is just the continuation of this. That's why it shows. And as you can see here, our indexes are just index values, unlike the date. Yes, now we can create a new code section, and then here we will start getting our value. We will create a Yahoo Finance ticker object, and then we will give our ticker, the one we created as Apple, up there. Here we will have income statements, and then that will be, here we will use quarterly income sheets. Income statements, sorry, and then we will be continuing to get our EPS data. We will use the income statement, and we will locate the basic EPS here, and then we will translate it to the data frame type so that we can use this for and merge it with our current data. And then here we will get the EPS. And finally, we will sort our EPS data so that we will have a sorted value. And here we can print it. Let's print EPS data. Let's try and see how it looks. Yes, as you can see here, we have the dates as our indexes, and then the EPS data for the Apple stock. So I will be creating a new code here for us to be able to merge them easily. And here, to be able to merge our new data frames, what we will do is that we will first reset our index for our EPS data. Here, as you can see here, our index is the date. So we will get EPS data dot reset index, and here we can use something called in place. However, this is not recommended with the latest version, so we will just reset it and then we will save it to itself as EPS data. And here we can get the print our EPS data. And as you can see now, we have a new column called index. And here what we will do is we will rename this index column so that we will have a index column called date, and then here we will call columns, and here we will use a dictionary type, and for index we will match it with the new data type date. And once we print this, it should work. Let's test it. And as you can see, we have our date here, and I will just now comment this out so that we don't have to run this again and cause any issues. Yes, now that we are here, we can finally merge our databases. And the way we should merge is, let's say merge data frame, and for that one we will just use our Pandas library. We will use our merge. This is like the SQL version of merging, and we can just use this. As you can see, EPS data, and then here we will have merge on the date column since both of them have merge, and for how we will say left since what we care about the DF. And let's run and print it for us to be able to see properly. As you can see, we have an error here. It says 2 levels on the left and 1 on the right. This is because when we print this, as you can see, we have 2 levels for our indexes. So I made a mistake here. Once we get this data, when we use Yahoo Finance download, we get 2 layers. So to be able to fix that, here we're gonna reset our columns, and we're gonna update our columns into having only 1 level, and we will be dropping level here. We'll drop level 1, and once we do this, we should only have 1 level for the data frame. So we can print it here. Let's print it. And then after this, we should be able to get our merged data frame. And once I run it, as you can see here, we have our merged data frame. The only problem is our EPS values are none for the first ones, since the first available EPS value is on the April 30th. And here this is data of 2023. So we will need to, let's say, get the latest ones. Let's get tail 10. Oh. Sorry. Yes, as you can see, we still cannot see it here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna extend this EPS data, and then we're gonna calculate the PE from there. So the way we will fix this problem is by we will fill our empty data, and for this one we're gonna do this. We will create a new column called EPS daily, and for our daily data, what we're gonna do is we will use our merge data frames EPS column, but we will be filling this, and this will be forward fill. So once we have a data that's available, it will forward fill that. And after that, let's see how it looks after running this. As you can see, we have our EPS daily with forward filling. However, if we print ahead, we will not have all of the values here, since we have already forward filled, and if there is no data before that available, it will not be able to forward fill. So we will create something here. We will create our PE ratio, and this is one of our most important ratios for the stock, and that will be merge data frame close value, and we will divide that by our merge data frame EPS daily value, and once we divide these, we will be getting our PE ratio. However, for our final merge data frame, let's call this final merge data frame, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the merged data frame, but we're gonna drop the columns, and once we do that, we should be able to print and see our final merged DF head. And let's print the tail as well to be able to see this clearly. Let's run this. Oops, I made a mistake here. What we're doing right now is dropping every empty row with the column. Since EPS is empty for most of the columns, what we're gonna do is we should declare for which one we are dropping it, and for here we're gonna say for the PE ratio we will be applying this, and once we run this again we should be able to get, we have none, so empty values for this, but we will have our PE ratio and EPS. As you can see, we have our values here. Yes, and now finally we should plot this so that we can see that. I will write this code and come back really fast. Welcome back everybody. Now we're gonna run our plot and we can see our PE ratio, and this drop is probably because they released their new PE ratio here. Let's check it out and if that's correct or not. And as you can see on this date, the new PE ratio is released, and as you can see it changed by a lot, and this change immediately shows a jump with our PE ratio plotted, and this jump will tell our machine learning model that the prices will be affected a lot by this change and it should act according to it. And when we're making our models, we can have features about the future, and for those ones we can say that, for example, on this date the PE ratios and the earnings will be announced, so expect a big change. And on that case, if the model is trusting itself, it can say invest, and if it's not sure about it, the predictions, it can just say do not invest or unknown. And we can have features like this. Watching the video, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and please don't forget to comment your ideas or your questions or tutorials that you would like to watch so that I can record new videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.